Planejamento de posição, assim, é difícil, a gente tinha visto um pouquinho antes.
Fala apaixonado pelo Fórmula 1! Aqui nesse vídeo do Curva F1 você vai ter entrevistas exclusivas de Bortoleto sobre o carro e o futuro com a equipe Sauber e a fala sobre a corrida do campeão Piastri e seus dois retardatários Russell e Norris, e ainda o futuro de Hamilton na escuderia Ferrari. E já você deixa seu comentário aqui o que você achou da corrida, quem foi o melhor na sua opinião?
Yeah, probably 9.5 to be honest. It was really challenging race. We had all sorts of problems in the last 12 laps. It was called a brake-by-wire failure. So when I was hitting the brakes, the pedal was going all the way to the floor, and I had to do some resets, and it was coming back to me. And then the next corner it failed, so for 10 laps in a row, I didn't know going into every corner. I didn't know if my brake would be solid or if it would be going to the floor. So yeah, really compromised the race. But at the end of the day, coming home in P2 was mega.
Also had issues with the DRS transponder, I believe, because actually whenever Lando or Charles got close, they weren't able to actually be sure in the fact that they had DRS or not, because the transponder wasn't sending the signal that would tell them if they were within a second.
Sounds a bit complicated.
Right. So I don't know whether it helped in the end or not, because they didn't know. But for you, how tricky was it dealing with that? And what were you dealing with in the car with that?
Nothing really, to be honest. I think every time I looked in my mirrors and they were within a second, they had DRS. And I wasn't using DRS, I was ahead. So that didn't compromise at all.
You've got to go and see the stewards about the DRS and about using it at a point where you weren't allowed to. What's your defence for that today?
Well, there was technical problems. I backed off. And it was probably open for less than a second. So,
are you able to just explain to people how it works, in that, so people watching?
Well, I don't know
it's
why.
Triggered automatically, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how it got triggered. There was all sorts of problems going on with the transponder and the signals going to the car. So I honestly can't give you an answer, because I was losing everything on my steering wheel as well. I had no data on my steering wheel. I lost all of that. So, I was really compromising my last stint. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be exceptionally harsh just if something happened.
Congratulations, you just brought home McLaren's first win here in Bahrain, and we barely saw you during that race. I mean, we often say to drivers, you made it look easy. I know it isn't, but just tell us, how good was the car today?
It was great. It was great. I think the first stint I could manage reasonably well, but I didn't quite know what the deck was going to be like, and then. Yeah, the second stint felt very comfortable, and then the final stint obviously very comfortable again. So I'm very proud of the job everyone's done, including myself. I feel like I've done a good job this weekend and have the result that I wanted. So yeah, very, very happy.
It is looking like qualifying is particularly important this year. How proud are you of the work you did to be able to get that pole yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it made life much easier today, that's for sure. I think we saw with Lando that being in dirty air of other cars was still very difficult to get through. So I've still got my ribs intact this time as well.
Yes.
No, very, very happy. So yeah, I think qualifying is a massive part, even around here, where I think we thought it would be less of a factor. It was still pretty useful to be a bit further up. So very happy.
He's coming for you, isn't he, your teammate, in terms of it's going to be one or other of you on a weekend. I know George got in there today, but the fight was on. Or it is on, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tight year. I think we knew that from the start. I think, we've seen in a few weekends now that we can't afford to slip up, because there's a lot of competition, fighting at our heels. But yes, I think, at the moment we have the strongest car out there. And we should be winning races. So very proud that we were able to do that this weekend.
Now, George thinks with another lap you would have got him, and you'd have had that P2 today. I know you always want to win, but would you have been satisfied with that? And how are you feeling with a P3?
Mixed. I mean, my goal for today was P2, and I was P3. I mean, it was a good race. I think my recoveries every time from the mistakes that were made were good. With a 5-second penalty and having to let Hamilton go every time, or that one time, I paid the price. But mistakes that I shouldn't make in the first place. But the pace was, I think, pretty strong. Otherwise, it's always difficult to say when you're in dirty air and things. So, yeah, difficult. Whether I would have got George or not doesn't matter. I didn't, and you know, positive that I got some points, and negative that we didn't achieve what we should have achieved.
What was the issue in the start box? It looked like you almost rolled
I've just
forward
misjudged it. Nothing
right,
more.
okay. Okay, well, it was tough at the start, though. You got a great start, and you got up into P3. The fight was there in you. How do you make this a better weekend next weekend? What are you going to work on?
That's a good question. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised I'm achieving anything I'm achieving at the minute with how I feel in the car. I'm like I said yesterday, I'm not comfortable, I'm not happy, I'm not feeling good. So to be getting these results that I'm getting at the minute, I'm so quite surprised by.
Can you tell us more about that? Why you're not feeling good in the car?
I mean, I just something's not clicking, you know, something's not. I don't have an answer, so I can't give a good explanation of things. It's just when you're a driver and things just aren't clicking and just aren't coming together, then it's just difficult, you know. And not difficult because I don't have the speed or the pace or whatever. I know I've got all of that. I'm confident that I've got all of those things. It's just for some reason I'm not able to show it, and just not able to drive in the way I want, or the speed's just not just flowing, and it's complicated. I don't have the answers now. We've got a lot of work to do as a team to try and understand these things, because I'm still confident I can do a great job, and considering how I feel, for me to have had a win and a P2 and some of these results, I'm surprised by that, even with how bad I feel, you know. So just work to do. I keep my head down, I keep working hard. That's all I can do for now.
Com relação ao que acabou não dando certo.
A gente, acho que planejamento de posição assim é difícil. A gente tinha visto um pouquinho antes de começar a corrida, na reunião que a gente fez, que talvez desse para ir algumas posições para frente. Eu acho que até assim, quando a gente está sozinho na pista, a gente consegue começar a criar um ritmo decente e manter. Mas a partir do momento que a gente tem alguém na frente, fica inguiável, eu sei que você fala, mas tipo, só guiando o que dá para perceber, não dá para passar. Tipo, o Stroll no final, ele não tinha ritmo nenhum, e tanto que eu fiquei a corrida inteira a menos de um segundo dele, né, depois do último safety car. Fiquei 20 e poucas voltas atrás do cara e não passei o cara, pô. Tipo, não dá. Assim que você chega perto, perde total o grip do carro e não dá para passar. Acho que o que dá para fazer talvez não seja na primeira volta, se você dá uma sorte, mas mesmo assim, quando eu entro atrás de algum carro, parece que perde totalmente a aerodinâmica. Mas, bom, isso não é de hoje, né? A gente viu na China, a gente viu no Japão na primeira volta também, e agora, mas sei lá. Agora eu quero também sentar e analisar com a equipe o que dá para fazer de melhor, o que a gente pode melhorar, porque realmente corridas como hoje não podem acontecer. São inaceitáveis. É triste você estar andando ali naquela posição, sabendo que não é aquilo realmente que vocês merecem, mas...
Claro que isso traz um desânimo, evidentemente, mas semana que vem já tem outra corrida, né? Então como trabalhar a cabeça, e o que você pode falar aqui para nós, do que pretende falar com a equipe, pensando, claro, em alguma melhora rápida?
Sinceramente, só trazendo upgrades e vendo o que dá para fazer para ter algum resultado imediato, que no caso não vai ser para a próxima semana, eu acredito. Acho que não tem nada planejado, mas agora é sentar e analisar. Eu não tenho o que fazer, a corrida de hoje já foi, acabou, lógico que eu não estou feliz, eu não vou estar aqui de sorrisão, porque se chegar ali nas últimas colocações não é o legal, mas vai dar 10 minutos, vou voltar ali, vou colocar a cabeça no lugar e ir para a corrida da semana que vem. Outra semana nova, novos desafios.
I'm happy that I was able to get some points for the team today. The middle stint felt great, and so for me that I'm continuing to learn about this car, and I'm having to adapt my driving style to it because it's not worked so far. I'm just learning bit by bit. There's definitely improvements to be made, but there's a long way to go.
You mentioned the upgrades. Was it better? Was it a little easy? Can we say that to drive that car after the upgrades?
The upgrades, well,
easier.
It was the same characteristics, just a little bit of an improvement. which we're grateful for. But we got to keep pushing to make bigger steps to be able to close the gaps to the guys ahead.
And there is something positive of this weekend thinking in Jeddah.
Thinking of when?
Thinking Jeddah. Can you take something positive of this weekend?
Oh, of course. We went forwards, which is always positive in a race. To be able to move forwards is a good thing. To been able to get into battle and to be closer to people around me, and yeah, there's lots of positives to take. I think I learned a lot about setup with this weekend, and if I can take that on to the next race, hopefully we can have a better weekend. Hopefully.